When they were coming, they said they were freedom fighters. When they were coming, they said they were never going. I want to be when they give them, they choose them. What kind of people they say? Freedom fighter, you live in our people. Freedom fighter, you live in our children. Freedom fighter, you live in our country. Thank you so much.
They started other type of workers. When we have growth, they started to concentrate the scope of the funding and the type of simple ruling and the amnesty law, everything. And the provision for Then when brother come now, he has been seen by coming there. So they went talking away, talking about people. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. But when they keep their time, when they keep their time, they keep their time. What kind of people is what kind of people is so? To feed our better, you in our people. To feed our better, you in our children. Freedom better, you teach our country. When they were coming, they said they were freedom fighters. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. But when they keep their time, they change their mind. When they keep their time, they change their mind. What kind of people they do? They are freedom fighters. What kind of people they do? They are freedom fighters. You freedom fighter, you live in our weekly. They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighter, you live in our children. Freedom fighter, you teach in our country.
Oh, yes, indeed. What a great day. What a wonderful opportunity it feels to be back behind these microphones to engage on the issues that matter to Liberia's growth and development.
When they were coming, they said they were liberators. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. But when they came their time,
They changed their mind.
our
Our people are crying. Our people are suffering.
what kind of people?
Times are hard. Times are so rough.
What kind of people?
From the schools
Whether you live in our
to the market
to freedom
to the hospitals,
in our children.
the villages, the towns, our people are crying. Life is extremely difficult, extremely tough for our people. Survival has become an achievement. I mean, having a meal a day in Liberia today has become an achievement. But sadly, sadly, the government of today appears very insensitive. The vice president, when he goes to places, is concerned only about 2029 and George Weah. They are now having conversations about the issues affecting the Liberian people as it is. 2 years later, after Mr. Weah is no longer present, is no longer around anything political or leadership or governance in the country, it still remains on the lips of each and every other senior official within the Brakar administration. Something most Liberians have considered as very unnecessary and not focusing on the main issue. But good morning. Just wherever you are this morning, pleasant way, we'd like to welcome all of you to this Tuesday morning edition of the nation's premier breakfast platform, the Freedom Money Rise on Freedom 87.9. And of course, my name is Abu M. Sharif, your usual companion, right here on the breakfast platform. Good morning to our friends, our followers, and to those of you in the diaspora, always joining us for breakfast on the issues that matter to Liberia's growth and development. Keep us about what's going on back home. It's always a good thing to have you join us. There are too many things to talk about, lots of things happening, whether it's the economic health of our society, livelihood, and of course the management of our resources, something that we all have to pay attention to, because no group of people have exclusive monopoly over the resources of this country. The finances of Liberia belongs to each and every Liberian, and of course it doesn't matter who's in power, they must give account and they must be held accountable. That's exactly what we do here Monday to Friday, without fear nor favor, and we speak truth to those in power. And yes, indeed. At 8:30 this morning, we have a man right here in our studio once more to look at the numbers, to look at and of course have some comparative analysis and some key governmental decisions, financial decisions, revenue decisions, a payroll, the size of the payroll, and of course we're hearing that there has been an alarming increment in the size of the Ministry of Finance budget under Augustine P. Gaffron. And the question becomes, why is it for 6 years Samuel Tuer run the ministry at this level, and you have come now you're increasing it in another 2 years? So what's accounting for the extra money that's being allotted to the Ministry of Finance? As we are told, disgruntlement and of course displeasure continue to be the order of the day within the cycle of the Ministry of Finance. Trust me, a lot of people are not happy there, and folks, some of you, a lot of you are listening this morning, and you know this is exactly what is happening. Let me tell you some of what is going on at the Ministry of Finance under under Augustine Gaffron. Complete stealing. You know, we've said times or number that Gaffron is a criminal. He's a decorated criminal. He's a liar. He's a big liar. See what is happening. People are crying everywhere. And he passes around with a big headball and oversized coat and lying about redeeming the economy. A disgrace to Gaffron is a complete disgrace.
What kind of people do so?
But we are monitoring because the people are always serving him breakfast. The guy has flooded. He likes this sycophants. God is a good fan of the sycophants, where he put group of people together and then give them unnecessary money, and then they be singing praises to him. He has flooded the Ministry of Finance with focal persons and consultants to every other department, every other existing minister or deputy minister or programs in the ministry. He has designed something he called focal person on this, focal person on communication, consultant on communication, consultant on debt, focal person on debt management, on domestic debt. And all these people are taking tons and tons of $1,000 monthly. But guess what? A lot of them do not meet any bare minimum financial qualification or technical qualification. They are all pretty simple. Imagine my man Vandala Patrick is a consultant. Fadiga is a consultant. A lot of them are there as consultants. They are taking more money than even the technocrats within the ministry. I am telling you this from the Minister of Finance. So the moment you check your tone, you start singing God, and of course the government, God put you on the consultancy or the focal president. I don't want to eat money from these bunch of idiotic fools. Yeah, I like to always double the adjective on these state criminals. Headed by a good old for nothing rusted brain. Stealing from the people, rendering them homeless, being so costly insensitive, taking all kinds of barbaric backward wicked. He's an old man who did not achieve anything for himself, so he doesn't feel it. He doesn't know what it is, what people go through to build something, to build something. Look at where the man lives. The man lives in the alley, and I listen to his public work minister, another useless man who mismanaged $22 million in this country. Yesterday, we're still struggling. We was $22 million squandered and mismanaged. And he says, listen to this. Broadcast minister of public works, another politician who's put in the technical role, says that the president lives in an environment where it's surrounded by alleys. I mean, think about this, right? The man said the four angles of the president's residence, right? North, south, east are all alleys, right? The back, the front, the other side are all alleys. I mean, think about that. So who can build more and just pour in the circle of somebody's land? It says, so the circle somebody's land. You're trying to fix it, but at the end of the day, that place will be demolished. That place will be broken down. The masses will join. The yellow machine, the masses will march. They will move with the yellow machine, go to Baka. Baka is living in he's illegally living in the place there. You see all kind of executive things to protect the man. You see, he's a squatter. He's squatting on government alley. Then he's passing around telling God that making new land. Okay, it's good. We're keeping that on record. Our God will not make new land. The masses will rally, will go there. Everybody will move on government alley. Baka will move on government alley. Oh, of course. The good thing is, the property they were paying for the people here will not push it. You disown the property, so there is no way you can go back to reclaim that property. Anyhow you do it. And we put you turn it to MRU, knock it, you take it from there, you pull it back to government, you say, okay, government, hey, fine. I will sleep also. You sleep with it. Imagine you then you passing on the friend hall. Look, man, this is the Freedom Money Rise on Freedom 87.9. And of course, at 3:30 this morning, we call about be our guest and we talk issues of financial governance. With the Ministry of Finance under the spotlight, of course, right here. A lot of you were put under the impression to believe that God is some kind of smart man, some guy is a dull man. You're telling me I'm saying he's a dull, empty-headed, non-score. That's what he has. People look at the economy. Look everywhere. What's happening? There's a breakdown in the Liberian economy on a guy. He's the least. I mean, in terms of intelligence, in terms of smartness, he's the least. Even there's a guy, Gwema Kamau, who bring what up down. We are even more smarter than God. So look at the man. But they are used to that. I always say the man is an IOC intellectual. Can you dull it out your friend implement process, reform the whole place? You were in that ministry that look at even payroll you couldn't put in order. You left the place, you went the Japanese people money hanging all on you. I mean the country here sometimes is sickening how we celebrate rules and make them to look like some kind of God, who is God? I see things from government is like wearing BB trousers passing around begging a friend. Even to, I mean, who These parasitic idiots who can't even live by themselves. They can't even thrive in the private sector on their own. All their education, they think they say they have. They can go anywhere to compete and make life for themselves. Depending on stealing money from government. They can't call and say, well, who will respect you food? Nobody respect you food. The people suffering every day. People go to the hospital, the people suffering, pregnant women dying, and you can't sit there and be praise worshiping criminals. For what? Who's going to praise worship criminals? These are rules from the president down. Look at the other one, the vice president, Tom B. and that stealing money can do those kind of things to people. Stealing money, complete criminal money. But look, share the show, man. We're gonna be here. We're here straight up to 10 o'clock, and of course, 2 years later, you didn't do anything for this country. We will no fear for you anymore. We are gonna engage you. We'll take it all the way to your doorstep, right? But look, man, before anything comes in, too many things going on. And yes, so on yesterday, they say the body minister, and the hypocrisy that I've been seeing on social media, the Liberian social media of recent from the weekend up to now, right? You know, before the weekend, we argued that Cornelia Craft's appointment was a slap in the face of moral, uprightness and all of that. Based on how she carries herself and all of that, she's been one person that's normalizing and nudity and of course hot dressing and indecency. She's one person who's trying to normalize that, exploiting her proximity to the public office and all of that to try to pass around and make our girls to feel like, lap dancing, dressing half naked, wearing mini skirt, dancing over PB men lap and passing around, drinking liquor. That's the lifestyle. Those are the current kinds of things. I mean, that's actually the portrayal from Cornelia Craft. But for some reason, she couldn't make her way through the political corridors and so many things and all that. So indecent dressing, immoral conduct, and of course throwing useless parties around where people are drinking liquor, people are smoking drugs, people are smoking shisha, they're doing all kinds of things. They can do fingering play, all kinds of things they can do to how you call that program. She can be organizing, right? She can be organizing that program. The first time the Union Party was here, they were doing this thing. They were doing, they destroy our youth with Super Friday. They basically government ministers will go on the small beaches on Friday. Then the people will leave the school and say, "Oh, Super Friday, go be finger put." It became alarming, and of course, we made noise about it. So they come out the power now. They're doing weekend from there. How you call it? I'm forgetting the name. You asked Cornelia Craft, and there's a woman. The president says she will be U.S. for a minute. So for us, we know anything we're going to do, but you're going to stop us from telling the nation who they are. That's who they are and what to expect. So the moment it starts to happen, you know already, right? That's who they are. Finger party, liquor party, gay party. That's all nonsense they can be. You go to, sometimes just find the time and stop by and evaluate, see how they dress, the way they can dress, and this is the minister that's going to be organized these kinds of immoral practices in the country. Nobody's talking about that, right? So that thing is already set because a lot of them were justifying it. Then Crystal is invited on convent, there is a convent to go and perform. And he gets invited. He's known to be that musician that sings these kinds of vocal songs and all of that. He gets invited. He goes to perform his song. Boom! The hypocrites jumping up. Okay, sir. They see where your was short scared, passing around, press everything exposed. Your male youth and school minister. Crystal, go perform, my boy. Perform your song. When you sing your song, the children come there because the minister of youth and school tell the children say they will take out their wear social blood, social trouser. I mean, that's the standard. That's just this unity party. They like to exploit the people. That's what they like to do. Whether you like it or not. I mean, this is the fight. You gotta fix it. You gotta face the fight. I mean, these are the people. They're immoral. They're abusive. That's who they are. Right? It's just because people you know what kind of story they're going to tell me. It's not about vice president. Oh, because you go into that one to say. The time partner of vice president. Eh? God bless you. Oh. Even without eh? The former general that run that ministry, Indian organization, you wouldn't believe it, but at the end of the day, don't want to, you know, exploiting the right. It's in a whole already it's a way, it's like open basically. And this is, I mean, the whole thing is being run like some kind of, I don't know, but it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible, folks. It's bad. Things are terrible. The guys are really, you know what the United Party boys can do? Let me tell you. You speak to some of your daughters, what you can see wearing these Chinese glasses, they having iPhone this, iPhone that. They having iPhone this, iPhone that. You ask them how. I know it's difficult for you to ask them to sit down with them. Well, you say you know, and they the burden from only the UP boy can get the children. And I'm gonna say people in America, you know, you do only the children, they can't operate. Go sometime that place to go. Sometimes they go free time. Mostly they been going free time. You know, they let the some secret thing, they will carry the children. One man will take 4 girls, one man will take 5 girls. You know, the boy stealing the country money. Yeah, the hardcore life. So now, every time you say we are coming back, the men can tell the enjoyment, we are not coming back. Anytime you say we are coming back, we are not coming back. Men more. No way we are not talking about pedophile, the men enjoying the men enjoying life. No, we are not talking about. So this is what. And you know what happened? When they carry the children there, they are putting the children double sim 1, sim 2. You know, and this is the habit of the United Party. We're not going to hide it from you. We're going to tell you that's who they are. Most of your children are in the hospital and go check them. Men have any damage that's listen to. Well, like any other man go 14 years old. And you go, how many 14 years old rape not yet? And you people they feel they steal the country money. I know that medicine they make it go. They steal the country money. You're small children. You're poor now. Now what the poor steal? That's why the strategy is people deny their job, deny their opportunity to be independent. They crying every day and then they look sorry for they go to the kid in Raspberry go they think they will come to me at least they come can stand everybody worshiping it. That's United Party style of leadership. That's the style. Everybody will come. As soon as one government can they beat them. So everybody will worshiping it. Then you get a late 13-year-old, 14-year-old, how 13-year-old, 14-year-old because they will grab even they don't tell you what they will just do the Abosona with the children before you look. There's some of the old man, they feeling like they really buzzing like oh, don't even part near me for even school. Wow, that one part quick. They put 14-year-old children, 13-year-old children, quick. There's a demonic government, there's a satanic government in the land. This government needs to be cast out. We need to cast this demon out. They need to cast this demon out. That's what we need to do. But anyway, folks, the Freedom Money Rise is here, and we're rising way up, all the way there. So we're just talking between up to when Benedict comes in, right? So let me lead that one. Every time we have the time to talk to you small about this whole attitude. You know, whether you like it or not, we are seated at a position in the country now. Like we say, almost everything we know. If we know, we will call whoever we know what going on in the country. We're on top of the issues. On top of the issues, someone will come and tell you, we'll present the things in some ways to minimize, sometimes you have to fix it or you gotta listen to the message. You see the comment, how will you this of a message about it? So you sit down, you look in the face of your gay child, and then as a responsible father, just imagine for them. Do you want this child? Because the more you things, the more risk your mind stand. to be abused. The more UP stays in power, the more risk your child stand to be abused, sodomized, right, violated, right, because of money. And that is it. They made a country hard, they make things tough. Then they get you, it's tough. So every time they give the children something, they go over them, they sleep with them. That's what they do. Every time they do something. So you see that Panave, you see a better family, you get okay, you run this company time, blah blah, you going to the other people, going to that LRB branch that is woke up area. Who runs the LRB branch? New York Crat. And I see some of our misguided youth, Jamapuru, your musician, Jamapuru is your come get support to you know, I think everybody have to be related in that community in the country like us. Not everybody take that sacrifice. But at the end of the day, guess what? Those who are bending backwards to accommodate immorality, all kinds of nonsense in the country, they would think like they are even more, patriotic than those of us who are saying, no, we will not succumb. At the end of the day, posterity is going to remember us more than them because we are loud in our opposition. Because the movement they don't settle, and of course, time reveals a lot of things. Then that's when society going to pick us up from among them and say, you know what, this was a demonstration of being carried on the part of Apple. Let me tell you, whether you like it or not, some of you that can be on social media sorting and lying. If I just see today, that pay excuse that I no longer want to be Freedom FM and I'm moving, you see the number of you they will bring cars, they will bring all kind of things. The simple that I say, oh, I'm on EPA, they will start telling me they won't put me on this, they won't then you rescue multi-bank, you'll be my great single. But I ready to support you. I say, oh, no, we got to end it. The scene that you see, they begin like be struggling, or input or income. And I think oh gee, but look, we're not gonna sit down here. If you listen to videos like this, if you listen to recordings like these, feel like baby, if you listen to people sounding like this, and a government that let me speak that vice president passing around talking so Eastern people to vote for them, right? Let the disabled, the people with disability office put a woman in charge, his wife. The second lady is in charge of the the people who clean the country all around, right? You see this? This is at the office of the people living with disability, not the office, but the place the government around. See the field, see the stench. People living in disease, sickness. The poor already, they're disabled. Then the government should be looking after them. But when you see Jeremiah Kun woman in public, oh no, the kind of clothing she can wear. Then they give her money to manage and care for the disabled. Lottery and other agency give her money. Right? So every day that Papa she buying the world, look at the people in poo-poo. You see the picture? Let me do it like this. You see the pictures? Right? Now they offer you the disabled people office that's run by the white. So Negro people, West Point people, they have to say you go vote for him simply because this is what that was given to his wife to manage. You see how the people living? You see those of you watching, you see the poo all over the place. But when she dress, one dress, so you think they get time for you? Not you, like that. Go to the president on the woman. Up to now, she paid the children too. Imagine president wife collecting 2,000 from poor families for fake scholarship. Fake scholarship. 419 scholarship in London. Nobody knew her in London. She after the or false impression that she gets scholarship in London. The children start paying the 2,000 to go London, only to find out. Then what happened when the news broke out? Then she's suspended. Her annual assistant that they were working on me. Vape home. Oh my God. Now, so you see, but librarians were made to believe that, counting on the experience and the age of this old man and all of the noise that were in the air, that these people were actually coming to retrieve and rescue and create an environment that's going to be ideal. Make the life better. But no, on the contrary, librarians are regretting that they are holding people like and they're holding people like Stanton Waterspoon and other people who were passing around. Oh, this. There you go. Right? Okay. They're holding people like that responsible. They say, y'all are not doing it. Y'all told us they hold it, but till we move on beyond the look at what happened. Me, I used to say to the player, I left selling to the player, I married my woman. I married my woman. I did gold set. But let all so listen to this, fellow Liberian.
What's me? If my liquid out of mind, a whole lot of people pass government, I would have seen nothing. Even less than before.
So you see the reason why people that can walk the street, our hair so high and everything. Why they were saying we were lying? We're the heroes in the town because we remain genuine about the issue. We stay on the issue. We didn't concoct any lies. Now you see, Liberian people know who can lie, who can tell you, who will lie, who can tell you. We don't want. And the things were warning against. Those were the things they were saying. What? Somebody said my audio is bad. Let me see. I hope it's better now, right? I hope it's better, right? So the things we wanted, so like the entire country goes. The spoon was structured to lie, deceive, manipulate, and Spoon himself has confessed it. But guess what? We thought brother, we all are made to believe that they owe me or anything good. We all are made to believe that they owe me or we really thought we just had to believe nothing. There was a man. No, when you hear the people speaking like this, you will not realize, especially when you get somebody to beg. When you get proud for yourself, you can beg to live, right? You will not want to agree with the people. But people get pride for themselves. They like to eat from what they work for, right? They get passed around. So they are workers. These are people who, person who travaille. You understand? These are people who work for what they eat. So those who beg for what they eat will not understand the pain that people who work, who used to working for what they eat, and then when their work not paying off for them, right? The pain it comes with. Those who get dressed, pass around, begging, and when they stand to the restaurant and see somebody in there, no, we're not talking about y'all. We're talking about those dignified people who labor for what they eat, labor for what what they use, labor for what they wear. When these people are affected, when their hustle is affected, right? These are the people that genuinely come out. They say, no, this is not the environment that we envisaged. This is not what we expected. And you all put us in this and listen to this, right? I guess it's right around the corner. Everybody should take in under 15 minutes. We'll be there.
For the 2-year experience. I mean, there's an experienced president we're talking about. For 2-year experience, you know, when you hear that in the garage, actually, the government, the only thing I'll see what they really do, maybe the horses are breaking down and not to repair. Breaking the horses down now, anything. But breaking it down, you should put something there. But the government around doing anything, they are suppressing us. How way they are suppressing us? Let me just put that way, Kuruba way. They are suppressing us.
They are what? Suppressing the people. They're suppressing the people. Like being governments are instituted for the welfare of the citizens, right? Then as soon as you get an opportunity to talk, then Kuna open the mother. I get one for Kuna talking 8 chance to talk.
We never know for stuff. And now you say, tomorrow. They may not but that's fine. They don't even know that this. But you don't know this kind of way bad and not right. The most time I will eat tomorrow. They're not bad.
Bringing up biscuits to survive.
The contract. And now you say, what you want the government to do to improve things in the country? We can't say kill a rescue, they rescue the country. We cannot go to suppression. He said, we the business we want, you want to hold our business. I said, we're not going to power my parent. Then he said, it was better, so we're not going to power. It was better, because say it can't wear a suppression, and then it's on. Some are actually is to go no money. You get two money for it, they don't buy the market. You're not selling the best fee. Two money, take every kind of gas fee.
These are voices on the market.
The government putting lead on the pole, and so the government doing well. But what you get to say about that? But me, I see lead pole, yeah. You see the lead pole, yeah. I see lead pole, yeah. You see the road, yeah. I see no road. You see the quarry, yeah. I see quarry. I see no quarry. From them money. So, but you said, so you're trying to say that things are high right now. But our business used to be before. We are the answer, but someone said for something, but now 2 seconds getting. The 2 seconds questioning. But you think that the government responsible for that, or no one thing happening around it? Now, government responsible, you say you can arrest you and you're responsible for it. You need to do something about it, you're responsible for it. So it's not for you. You think the government are arresting you? You're not arresting me. You're carrying us. Why are you arresting you? You're carrying us. No one that we are carrying and not arresting you. Why are you arresting nothing? Why are you carrying us? Why are you carrying us? They were better than the people selling. If somebody asks you to grade the government from 0 to 100 for the 2 years the government paying power, what are you going to do? What can we grade a government now? I don't see nothing. And I saw you saying for a grade government? 0. For the 2 years, that's 0. But the president gets so many years experience. For the 2 years experience, kind of 1 year experience, that ain't nothing. They count to 0. Then for the 2 years, count to 0. And nothing. We got that breaking point down for structure. Get it, that's in your 1%. No. And the rest of that. All right. Thank you for talking to Smooth TV. Any other thing you want to say before we leave? We'll suffer you. That's the boy helper. No buy you. That is true. I say helper you. He said, Papa got for the 2-year experience. That's who help her. You know what my help her because Papa say again. Papa got a girl. So the student they can help. The contract can help. The contract can help. Fire support. The fire support. The so instead of saying, yeah, so eat my brother, and I said, let
me hold it right there because the thing here is getting, it's getting beyond. For the 2 years, almost said that zero. It comes down to zero. Absolutely not, because it has not translated into meaningful life dividend for people to see. The benefit accrue from leadership and experience. An experienced leader who knows how to find solutions to social economic issues and problems. And that will take the hand. We have the first year, but the second year, but 2 successive years, budget has been exhausted. They laid all. No investment in the people, no investment in the country, right? Social services remain a nightmare. People can get water, people can get foreign, children can go to school, right? School classes are empty because the parents can't afford to have the children in school. The hospitals have become debt-trapped, no medication. They are overcharging struggling parents, and those are the realities of the day in the country where the president, when he campaigned that he had the solution, the NGOs are going to come here, the jobs are going to be based on his experience and his knowledge. And he said one thing, that the people made a mistake. They gave a man job to a boy in 2017. And to see that man now with the job and feeling on the job even more than the person he considered a boy says a lot that we need to think about. But let's take pause. After which, 2:30, we take our guest, right? He's already here in our 0776 104 104 plus 231 are the numbers to call. Liberia. This is it. This is your country. And of course, you must stand up. You must speak out, because guess what? A cow died many times before their death. So let's take this first caller here. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning,
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, this is the child.
Go ahead.
Both are crying, the country has, the health. These are the critical they even
nobody said you were Lato.
Okay. They have the country. They will brother. And the person said that the protest, the best for him. So they kind of go out and they go and they will see very happy so much, brother. You're happy more. I'm telling you, happy more, brother. 2028. You will be blessed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. I'm okay. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
You know what makes me laugh in the whole year? The woman just said the photo is what a process. Yeah, so much. I'm going to say, once you can learn to marry a woman, but you cannot learn to maintain a woman. That's everything you need.
So you agree with you that the president and the government they lie to keep the power?
Yeah, but you're still to what most people think. Okay? The next time is going to go for business. So now, okay,
but the thing is, the people suffering daily. Some people are dying from their hunger and things.
My friend, so run away. That's why you don't say that. How my word? Just say anything that we will again. My friend. That's not correct. I'm telling you.
That means you can stand up for Unipari to continue beyond 2029. But how do we win now? The people say they don't vote, so how do we win? They said they will steal. They themselves said they will steal the election.
I'm saying condition as a state. But if they don't win, that do not vote for the CDC, they say, I will not do it. They just pass and go and shoot and go to them.
Yeah, but before that time, we'll mark all their homes, their address, all of them will say everything. So that's what we're talking. Yeah.
We know what people want left. We know all the
okay, you know all that. Yeah, you'll be marking it. Yeah, no, everybody you say you want to election, and you don't want to vote for. Thank you very much. Good morning. People give you 6 years to work and deliver, convince them to give you another. You say you steal election. Let's see how that works. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Walker for the Timothy Union. I put this calling you from Wasonga to County.
Oh, you're calling from Wasonga. How are you monitoring?
Yeah, through my Facebook, I put my
So they think not easy. It's tough. You see where in Wasonga, people think that you carry all the money in that place there, the poor Foya they enjoy. So how the economic condition in Foya there?
I want people to have this money for your last name. I beg you. Because when I say something, you will leave that thing and they forget your last name. I tell you, no time when I left the town without the internet, if I came to watch you.
Oh, God. I'm a man for. Yeah, the harmonize it, man. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, but good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead. Where are you coming from? East Island. What time, man?
540.
I'm told the commissioner say Peace Island for government and you should get ready or anytime they can come for you too.
The man here is true, know that this Island long as it can be the 1990s. So when it come in on come then you can come man. Waiting for another car.
Oh, but people say that the president already giving full instruction that they should go and take government property.
My brother, they only work on here and set government. They won't take control. But nobody would have.
So why you depending on the other bring in the movie? The other book, the movie there. So when you're talking your movie.
Abu. We also say you can do it. We say we're waiting for another car.
All right. Anyway, we're not talking about it. We're not talking about it.
We've got that. That year, was saying, you know, it was for young anybody that went to this country around to carry out to school, network.
Oh, you mean that's in the man go nowhere about go to school network? Why do you go to school network?
Yeah, yesterday they lied to people that Joe is
yeah, but Baga lied to the people you put on false impression.
Yeah, but the people that do this message, they were one out criminal men. You know what they do?
The grandpastor.
From beginner. Yeah, the lady was saying, yesterday, you want to begin again.
Yeah, that is it.
What's that? So tell you the blessing there. You go up on
so the way looking what and say they think won't be somebody they will be senator or president. You think I remember the way he had the people that
but I you got to put someone great. They know when you put in a very green nation. You know, you will be lying on radio on television for a great opinion. The same man, yeah, remember that a great hospital and a great government home, especially that
Okay, thank you. Let me take the last call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I was Benedict and I call you tomorrow.
Go ahead, Benedict. Benedict, the thing I get to see you. Okay, thank you very much. And so, just to update you, the CDC is doing all it can to clean its ranks, get rid of the hypocrites and of course those people who really are not on the side of the Liberian people. And the CDC is taking this moment to reflect, go in and clean and get all the anti-progressive elements. And so they have hooked up 3 individuals so far: Zoe Penner, who lie like that, right? An illiterate man who has been benefiting. I mean, from that rich and intelligent county Grand Jida. So finally, Zoe Penner, that government boona. Let me see how you win election in Grand Jida, right? Let you go wear a wet t-shirt and walk to go Grand Jida. When the election comes, we'll know. Then you will know that CDC been making him to win election in that place. So we're very excited. The people of Grand Jida County, they're excited. They've been relieved now, right? No CDC cover on Zoe Penner. It's a government boom anywhere he pass. CDC have done all its evaluation and see the man does not deserve to be in the ranks and file, so they've expelled him, and he has been expelled. Sorry, he's been expelled from the CDC. Another person that's been expelled is Kanye Bala. You know, my own friend. He's a lawyer, but law team making a lot of people getting discouraged to even do law because people used to say when you do law, your thinking capacity, your thinking faculty can open and you can see things. But they all a lawman. He think even the coconut seller seems to reason better than my friend Kanye. But they say Kanye Bella can decide he bring and all of that. So CDC said no. They Bella over brain thing can stay in our party. We need smart people to come and work, not people who Bella better than their brain. So they expel Kanye as well. He's my friend, but it's important to let you know. And then the other guy, Samson, we are from is it Grand Coup or somewhere? San County, right? They've also said, man, and they moving from there too. He's not part of the party. He put his stomach in a wheelbarrow, he passing behind, up and down, go somewhere, this, that, blah, blah. So all these unfaithful, good for nothing, and people move them for the CDC. Even that young children in the community, young come passionate, and deliberate about Liberia progress. Those are the people that the party wants to work with. No, it ain't get time for all of you get beat out to this, that. So they finish all the men and they say they go sit on the government boom. They can cry tire. Can't you been passing around crying? Oh, you say, I agree, I'll go to court, but let's see how it works. You can force yourself to be part of people too. And you say it's centrist, the government get you a job. You people were talking. Then there's this public service announcement, and this is, of course, let me read this notice of public memorial service and legacy celebration. The Professor Alhaji D.V. Kumar Memorial Service and Legacy Celebration reminds the public of the upcoming memorial service and legacy celebration honoring the late Professor Alhaji D.V. Kumar. Event detail date Wednesday, February 11, 2026. Time 12 o'clock noon. Venue ACOP Operational Office, Somalia Drive, Gardensville, Monrovia. This event will recognize Professor Kumar's significant contributions to Liberia's democracy, media development, and national identity. The program will include prayers, tributes, and reflections on his life and leadership. I think that's coming up tomorrow. Okay, so we hold that right there. And of course, take a break with Crime Stop on Liberia. When we come back, we talk to Benedict Koluba, who's already in our studio. So, we've been touching this Prophet Key and Yamin basic thing. John Palmer raised on John Oil. So, I don't put him on boys. They like it, the motif, stick, the BB, they like it, the motif, they get in better yala, they move from there, they get under the water that they're business. They're the one program, the man, they were supporting to be causing other people mad. If the men turn around and start causing their mind and they decide to do anything they won't do that their business, I don't give a heck about it. I don't give a heck. They won't carry you under the water, move from there. They don't want to give him protection. The president and his wife was sitting out on the stage, Prophet Key came there, you could see the smile on Katumu Bwaka face, walking Prophet Key, the president walking him. And they knew that he was walking people, man. He was causing women in this town, they were walking him. So I don't care. Anywhere they want to carry him, that their business, right? Let me somebody say, can your political name is Barbele? Can you Barbele? That means better can be bought. Can you Barbele? So you be not buy better if you there you go. My friend, but I don't be using the kind of name. So this break, we will be right back. This break.
There are crimes in every places, in every community, you know. You can see. So if you see, no in your country, then it can't take your way. Crime stop right here. In the sector, whether you reach your goal, if you see a human, I mean, it's your day. Do it fast. If you see a donkey, I'm about to report. The people bring it back to your door. Stop it and make it before them before. Stop it, on the center to interior. Keep it ourselves, keep ground for all our stop. The people bring it back to your door. Stop it, ground and make it before them before. Stop it, on the center to interior. Keep it ourselves, keep ground for all our
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, on the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping ourselves and stopping crime for all of our. Crime Stopper, people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, on the center to interior. Keeping ourselves, let's be ground for all of us.
Okay, Crime Stopper Liberia is the official sponsor of the Freedom Money Rise of Freedom 7.9. And of course, it's always a good thing to be here. It's always a good thing to be here to engage. And folks, like we said, on this edition of the show today, we are very privileged once more to have our good friend, Mr. Benedict Oluba, he is a seditian and of course a very professional Liberian who believe that the way things are proceeding is important. We bring professional conversation to the discourse so that the government will listen. If they're listening in the interest of the country. And if they don't, it's important for our people to know that the way these things are going, it is not good and the government have to change. So let me go across the table to welcome Dear Brother Benedict Oluba. Good morning, welcome.
Yeah, good morning, my brother. Good morning to the Liberian people. It is good we are here this morning again to talk about the issues that matters for our people and for the country.
Mm-hmm.
And I came in here sitting quietly and listening to some of your callers and listening to the people in the streets. I guess justify why we have to intensify our media engagement.
Okay.
So that truth can be the hallmark of our public discourse, because we know the consequences. We know how.
And I like that too. Has to be the hallmark, because you see, like now remember a man and water spoon, and they blaming him. They say the girl. So public conversation has to be centered around telling, because the public will always remind you.
Yeah. So if we don't do that, what will happen? We're already facing the consequences of lies in our country. And so some of us have chosen to bring truth to public discourse. So, yes, let me say good morning to all our Liberian people. We are here again to play our part in the governance of our country.
Fair enough. And so this morning we're going to be looking at a wide range of issues. But since President Sona, Bennett has not had the opportunity with us, and of course we're going to speaking. There were a lot of numbers out there, and so to talk to us. He's a number man. The realistic nature of these figures and all of that. Some of what he believes that needs to be corrected. He will talk about that, and of course, this debate around the harmonization. Whether because the Minister of Finance, appearing on a local government-run platform, said that they have harmonized, they have reverse harmonization at select government agency, and it was going to continue that way. So Benedict also weighed in on that, plus other issues this morning. Benedict, how do you like to start? We like to start with the President Sona. Says, listen, there were a lot of claims made, 70,000 jobs created in 2 years' time, and of course, feeding program. For the school going kids across Liberia, street lights for over 200,000 villages in the country. I mean, talk to us about this. What's your own thought?
So, generally, on the overall, I look at the president's speech, the Sona, as a speech that was grounded fundamentally. Foundation of that speech is grounded in flawed.
Okay.
And it is a combination of that flawed foundation mixed with lies.
Okay.
That led to a speech that was very distant from the people. Let me put it that way. The speech, the president was like here with his speech, and the citizen. This is the first Sona I've seen the whole country rejected. You go to the marketplaces, you go everywhere. The citizens I go from the villages in Lofa, they're like, is that our president or was he talking about our country? So generally this is this.
I mean, people couldn't find, lay their hands on the reality within the speech. And when we speak, some of the guys are like, oh, you'll be angry, you'll be like this. But it is not about CDC, it is not about Unity Party. Mm-hmm.
It is about how we represent the country. These things that we put out there, whether it be government entity, whether it be from the president office, it goes worldwide. It goes beyond the borders of our country. And it represents Liberia. It doesn't say this is a CDC Sona or a Unity Party Sona. Somebody picks up in Sona and they reading it, they say, oh, wow, Liberia is like this. They're not looking at the individual political party.
Okay.
The fact that the Sona represents us as a people, and if there are messages that do not, or messages that will not represent the true nature of what is happening in our country, it is our responsibility as patriots Liberians to be able to put the government to check, to remind the government that, you know what? These data don't reflect, because if it remains as it is, the Osara will think that this is what actually happened in Liberia when that is not the case. So generally the speech, and I didn't expect anything beyond that, because I've told you earlier, the way the government started on the foundation of lies, anything that comes after, it will be an extension of those lies. So, for example,
okay,
let's start with the economy. The president mentioned two things.
Mm-hmm.
The president said the economy was growing by 5.1%, which was not true. But then every data that was available, the economy was growing. According to the IMF ECS second review, the economy was growing grew to 4.6. In fact, CDC left the economy at 4.6 in 2023.
But I think subsequently there was an IMF review.
Yeah, I will come to that. I'm talking about the speech.
Okay. Yeah, the speech came, and then after.
So before the speech, the CDC left the economy at 4.6%. In 2024, it dropped to 4%. In 2025, it came back to 4.6%. As the president was speaking, there was an inner data on economic growth rate. And
Even
besides,
as of the time the president spoke,
as
it
of
was
the time,
4.6%.
it was 4.6%.
And that was what he should have reported.
That was what he should have reported. And so after the president spoke, we challenged the numbers. Well, some way, somehow, we saw publication that publication, I don't want to say, but it's almost like when the coach, has a match and the match has ended,
Mhm.
and the press runs to him for his impression about the game, he makes what we call post-match press conference. That is not the actual detailed report of what happened on the field or what the game was. So the start report normally is a press statement they make and say this is what we saw. And so I hope that it will be the case when the actual report comes out. But the truth is, it wasn't a full.
So what are you trying to insinuate?
I'm saying the IMF report after the president press conference. It's a staff report. When the staff come in the field, they assess what is happening. They go back to report to Washington. But while they are leaving, they have to say something to the country of what they saw. So what we saw in the public is what we call the staff observation post-match. You do your post-match mission, you do a press conference. It's a press release. So that press release, all the data that have been collected will now go back to Washington, work across back for the government, and there will be a formal report. If that assessment was done in January, for example, that formal report will be maybe around February will be published. There we will find the real data.
Why if the government had a report before the SONA and decided to indicate it?
No, it's not a report. It's a press statement. It's not really a report.
And the statement came after.
The statement came after. So we are hoping that the real report will come up maybe January.
Or you're doubting the report that came after that also corroborated with what the president said?
No, it's not about doubt. It's about the way they communicated around it, right? So I don't trust what the president said. The economy was not good at 5.1%.
Okay, listen to what the president while he was in opposition, listen to what his view was about the IMF. We're talking about these numbers and all of that. Whether that could have been the case in this instance. Yes.
You live here just as much as I live here. You live here just as much as I live here. Are the Liberians seeing what the international seeing? All the internationals, are they the one that... In another word, you don't respect whatever the payroll, the reaching of the international fund. It's a fund that you want. Well, they themselves are doing their work and they know what they're doing, so it's up to them. But I know that whatever they say, what's important, more important to me is what the Liberians say about their own economy, about what they're feeling. That's more important to me than what the IMF say. The IMF is a business.
Okay, the president said what's most important is what the Liberian people say about their own economy, and the IMF is a business. So can we see that?
So I don't want to follow what he said to say the same thing about the IMF, but when the IMF was giving credible information about our state of affairs on the citizen regime, he didn't want to accept that report from the IMF. But today, it's ironical that he is now hanging on reports from the IMF as a basis, even within his annual address. But what is key is that he said, being sarcastic, that he doesn't listen to the IMF, what he wants, what he's concerned about what the Liberian people say. And the Liberian people are saying worse about what he said that the IMF said or what he is reporting. So in fact, we're not holding him by that. So what did the Liberian people say when President Parker said the economy grew by 5.1%? When President Parker said he created 770,000 jobs. What did the Liberian people say when he said they have paved about 20% of the roads? They have moved from 12 to 20% of the roads in the country. So 20% of the road will mean that RI road will have been completed, or even from here to Wedru will have been completed. So what did the Liberian people say? I heard you posting, or I heard you lamenting or re-echoing, playing some of the voices of Liberians across the country. And I said to you that the Liberian people get rejected the speech outrightly. So for the president to have said what he said about the country, they were not true. So on the economy side, for example, there's something that you know, my people, when we're talking these things, it hurts our colleagues from the Unity Party because they have over the years made the world to believe, to think that we who in the CDC, there's nothing about intelligentsia within our DNA. They are the best for the country. But little did they realize that what they claim to be, they are not.
Okay.
And so to accept that is now see, right now, we are holding them to truth. Look, the Unity Party people can only survive in the midst of lies. If you are to bring any of the government official or any of the Unity Party guys here to discuss with me, and we start discussing, Joy, you are dead, that kind of discussion will survive. Well, if I gave them data and say, you said this is why it is, go to the central bank report, they will start to abuse, they will start to insult me. So that is the point that is happening. So
on inflation, let's look at the numbers.
So that's what I'm coming to. The way inflation is calculated, if you go to the central bank third quarter report, central bank does the aggregate range average on the quarterly basis.
Okay.
So in 2025, inflation started in the first quarter around 12.5% in the Unity Party government. The first quarter is January, February, March. What that means was that if you have 100 Liberian dollars, January, February, March, that 100 Liberian dollars will only give you 85.50 worth of material. That's how our situation was that. In other words, in other words, if you needed to get $100 or something cost $100 yesterday, at that time you needed to add maybe $12.50. Maybe you needed to buy $150 before you get actually a worth of $100 material. Prices are going up. They didn't want to report on that. In the second quarter, it says, look, they say they trust more, but if you look at things, it had gone down to maybe $10 or $11. If you have $100, you want a real $100 material, you needed to add $11 on it before you get.
That's a technical interpretation.
That's the layman interpretation of the inflation. If something was $100, you need a real $100 thing, you needed to buy it now $150. Or you will get, if you get only $100, you will get around 90 or 99, 90 or $89 worth of materials. Then in the third quarter, it went to 5.9. That means that if you have $100 this time around, instead of it being $110, maybe you will need to put $6 or $7 on it before you get $100.
Okay.
When it went to the fourth quarter, which is October, November, December, the World Bank, the IMF says, at that time, if you have $100, you needed to add $5 on it to get real $100 material. This is how the inflation is calculated.
In around December.
So now to find out how the price of things was being affected, you put the 4 together and divide by 4.
The average for 2025.
For 2025. So because the president was accounting for the whole year.
Okay.
So to have even said inflation dropped to 4.4% as compared to 10.1% in 2023, it was misleading. You cannot be comparing 2025 inflation rate with 2023. You are comparing 2025 inflation rate with 2024. What was your inflation rate in 2024? If you are comparing quarter by quarter, you should have been comparing where you came from in the first quarter. And you came from 12.5. So all of those things, that's why I'm taking my time to explain to the library. All of those things are to present a picture to the Liberian people that things are well or things are not.
So that means the actual picture about inflation that the president spoke about is not the real.
No, it's not the reality. So in 2025, in summary, in 2025, you can say that if you have $100 and you really want that $100 material, you needed to add $10 on it because it ended at 8.8. So it means that you needed to add $10 on that $100 to actually get $100 material. Otherwise, something that cost $100 yesterday was costing around $110, $115 in 2025. Open the line and ask the people whether that is true. It is. It is in the market and people are saying it. So that inflation the president was talking about, the president was just saying goods prices are better today than yesterday, which was not the case. So when I said
and that's exactly what we're trying to come to. At the end of the day, it all comes to the prices on the market.
on the market, that's why the inflation is actually talking about that. If you got $5 today, how much goods you can get, or whether can it get you $5 goods, or it can reduce the $5, or you need to add some money to that $5, and I guess taking $100 as a case. So the whole report, the whole SONA was a bundle of, the way the people are working, they are working with CDC on their mind. Anything they do, they want to do it like, oh, okay, CDC poor here, or we did it better than CDC. They are not taking their time to say, you know why, we have a problem in this country. Our job is to systematically address those issues. Let the Liberian people create us and say you are doing better than CDC or not. But if you put on your mind that they think better than CDC, you are doing the way you say is better than CDC, you miss the mark. For example, they went to the rules. They made the president to say, and I listened to Minister Guinness yesterday. I'm going to do a clear write-up on that.
Before we talk about export, as I said, export surged about 3.1% to $2.1 billion.
So
the domestic revenue record $847.7 million. Those are also data that they reported on.
So let me say this. Technically, no government should be, after the war, should be boasting about increasing domestic revenue generation. You just say it for number's sake, but if you take it as achievement. So Abu, let me put it this way: in the automaticity of the nature of things, if you have a woman and you made her for a child, and the child is 2 years, in 2020, maybe in 2020, the child was 2 years. You stay with a woman for 5 years, the child will be how many years? 7 years.
7 years.
Okay, the woman decided to break up with you. Then you are boasting. I stay with a woman until her son was 7 years old. When a year passes, the child age is growing. You got nothing to do with the child age.
The same apply to domestic
So
revenue.
domestic revenue, we came from war. All our system was broken. But
Don't it have something to do with the system in place?
it got something to do with the system, but revenue is supposed to grow.
But that's what they're bragging that as
No.
a coding system.
You're supposed to be saying,
increase revenue.
you're supposed to be saying, when you're talking about revenue generation, you're supposed to be talking about systems that are easing business transaction. You're supposed to be talking about how many businesses that have come online and remain for over 3 years. Because in Liberia here, people establish business 1 year, the next year the business drop. Go to the markets. People who are selling a lot of them are in business. So
Maybe they're increasing tax collection.
they're increasing
more, and they're
taxes,
increasing
the revenue is increasing. So you're supposed to be reporting and say, you know what? This year we increase revenue generation because we are adding value to domestic produce. When you want both of export, you should be talking about Liberia is now exporting plenty chips out of this country. Liberia is now exporting, for example, cassava flour. We're producing flour. So the boast about domestic resource mobilization should be about the source. Domestic resource mobilization is not about the automaticity. Automaticity means that, look, without government effort, you and myself will making effort to make our life. In the attempt to make effort to make our life, we pay taxes to government. So I get on car and go to Lufa, for example. I want to go pay my Leokumu, for example. So anything they are doing, I will pay taxes to government. So if the government sits and say, okay, when taxes are increasing, then we are doing better. No, that is a wrong assumption. The government,
On the payroll, the president reported that you left a lot of ghost names, and he 2025 removed 1,000 ghost names. Let's talk about the ghost name thing.
that is the biggest deception, and that's why I told you the government started on the foundation line.
Okay.
Go to the CSA report. You got CSA report 2025. CSA got report 2024. In fact, this is President Batai has to be careful. But the CSA has already damaged them. But they have not realized it. In the first place, the CSA has never put up any genuine, authenticated report to the public. And let me be on record on this. The most deceptive entity in the government is the CSA.
2024.
In 2024 report, the CSA reported that they reduced the government wage bill to 21.4%, $21.4 million per month. But in 2025, that would have been around $283 million annually for compensation. But in 2025 alone, the wage bill went up to $316 million. In 2026, the wage bill has gone up to $355 million. The other side again about the CSA is the CSA reported that it reduced the government workforce to 60,900 in their 2024 report. There is nowhere in CSA 2025 report that they removed GoSNP from the payroll.
So in 2024 report, the CSA removed 6,846 ghost employees in 2024. That's what they said.
In 2024. So they said the workforce came down to 60,900. If you have the math, we'll do that math. In 2025, now when the president was reporting, there is nowhere. In fact, cost is mentioned in CSA report not more than 2 times in the 2025 report. Then there's nowhere that they removed GoSNP from on the payroll in 2025.
Well, the president reported.
The president reported they removed 1,000 GoSNP.
And it is not in.
There's no way in
So
CSA.
where the president got the figure to.
Maybe that the SOEs, but SOEs are not removing GoSNPs. There's nowhere in the CSA report that they remove GoSNP from on the payroll. Now, let me come back to something on the CSA. The CSA also reported that they only added 3,406 supplementary or volunteers in health and education coming from the MCSS.
You mean for the
2025?
2025?
Yes.
They only added how many? How much?
3,406.
Okay.
If you put 3,406 on 60,900, it will be around 64,000 plus. But the CSA is reporting that our workforce is 63,130. This is hypocritical lies.
There's a difference.
More than a difference. Are you familiar with the DG of the CSA?
Yeah.
Go on his Facebook page.
Okay.
When you go there, he posted a table that shows the workforce breakdown. If you get calculate that table, it is almost 64,425. But in his calculation, it's 63,130. I'm not going to
mean
his own table. If you take your time and calculate the numbers of the sectoral breakdown of the workforce, it's around 64,425. But in his calculation, he puts the number at 63,100.
So you understated the number.
He understated the number.
But then if you take your time and do the calculation of the figures,
Guess what that figure's in there?
it's more than.
It's more than what he's reporting.
So I'm on the table right now. He has public administration number of employees 4,788.
If he has somebody who calculate that, to calculate that,
municipal government will do the calculation. Municipal government 5,760. Transparency and accountability 1,409. Security and the rule of law 13,797. Health 11,471. Social Department Services, 877. Education, 19,995. Energy and Environment, 1,294. Agriculture, 2,859. Industry and Commerce, 880. Others, 1,294. Totaling 63,132. But Belinda is arguing that this number is incorrect.
It's incorrect.
So
Senator, and other people,
we're gonna prove that.
when you calculate that, it'll be around 64,000. That contradicts the assertion that only 3,406 people were added on the payroll. Now, here is the biggest.
That means more people were added on the payroll.
Yes.
But they hit some number from the.
Here is the biggest deception with the whole Rescue and Unity Party government when it comes to the wage bill. From the CSM reports and what the president is reporting, they are insinuating that since the Union Party took over in 2024, they haven't employed one soul on the payroll other than the health education volunteers that were put on the payroll.
But do you have record?
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
I'm saying the way the CSA has reported that in 2024, they brought the wage bill down, the number of employees down to 60,900. In 2025, they only added health workers who were volunteers and education workers who were volunteer on the payroll. They didn't put new people on the payroll. When you put those two numbers together, it insinuates that since the Unity Party took over, they have not employed new people on the payroll. Abu, this is in a realm of political impossibility and very illogical to tell the Liberian people, even the Unity Party partisans, to tell them, no, you know why? Everything we fought for 6 years to move CDC from power, since we took over, we are not being able to employ new Unity Party partisans on the payroll. When there are visible presence of new staff in every government agencies
That never worked in
government before.
We hear the Ministry of Finance is bloated.
I went to the Minister of Finance, and the Minister of Finance published, for me, I don't go to internal documents. I look at published documents.
So what you're saying 1 minute before that, what you're saying, the government tries to put up an impression as if to say, we're keeping the payroll clean, we're not adding nobody, we have not added nobody, we're maintaining, we're removing ghost names.
Yes. So the picture they're presenting is the CDC destroyed this country. The wage bills were bloated. There was also ghost names. So since they came to power, their only job is to clean the wage bill that CDC left. They have never employed new people. And this is why we are here to continue to remind the Liberian people that these kind of lies, we shouldn't fall for it. I went to the Minister of Finance, the HR department is what they call newsletter. In that newsletter, the Minister of Finance herself reported in 2025 that they employed 13%. So that is not included in Josiah Joke's section.
13% for which year?
For 2025, because they say their workforce moved from 900, I calculated 900 something, and the difference was 13%. So what I'm saying is that who in this Liberia will believe that the Unity Party government has never employed one single Unity Party partisans on central government payroll? Well, I don't normally do, but let me give this recommendation advice to the president. What the president needs to do is to have a special committee to always evaluate any report that comes from the CSA.
So 1 minute, I just did the calculation, and of course, it seemed Benny was correct. The number here, the total calculation is 64,424, different from what Josiah Joker share, which is 63,000.
Mano, that's 63,000.
130.
Mano, that's 63,000.
So this is Mano's 63,130. It's 1,294.
So I call something. This one I call it the
But
dual,
this is too broad. This
very broad. The one that is hidden that I saw was in that report. They said they employ. So you keep that number. Add 60,900. Do a different math.
okay. 60,900. So let's keep this other.
Yeah, keep that other math.
This difference, right? We're keeping
Keep
this
that difference.
of 1,294. Okay, so we start all over again.
So take 2024. They said it has 60,900. Take 60,900.
60,000.
900.
Okay, let's get that quickly. Okay, 60,000.
60,900
900.
plus 3,406.
Okay, that's 10,306.
No, 60,000. 60900
Yeah, 60,900
900 plus 3,406.
406, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's equals to 10,000.
64,000.
Is that 60,000, right?
60,000.
Oh,
not
okay,
6,000.
Okay.
60
Mm-hmm.
900 plus
That's correct.
340
Uh,
3406.
Okay, 3,406.
Mm-hmm.
And it's equal to 64,306.
Minus the 63,130 from there.
Minus 63,000, right?
Yeah.
100
And 30 that they are reporting.
and 30. That's 1,176.
Yeah. If we check that number, it should be more than that. So what I'm saying is there's a double discrepancy in the CSA report. The president needs to set special committee to always evaluate. And he doesn't want to be embarrassed to evaluate what comes out of the CSA, because he goes to the SONA.
To be sure with the numbers.
Yeah, he goes to the SONA and says they removes 1,000 ghost names from the payroll. The entity that is removing those ghost names has nothing mentioned of removing ghost names in their report. This is not about Union Party. This is about the sanity and sacredness of the presidency.
But why do you think people that are supposed to be professional will be choosing to deliberately?
Because they are working,
misrepresent?
the foundation of their work is on lies. They told the Liberian people that their payroll here, it was just dead with citizens, the unqualified, we are cleaning it. The reality is that CDC set a very good payroll, and that's where we're going to go next. So instead of appreciating what the CDC did, they want to mango. And they know when you mango. When you mango, you will keep lying. You will keep exposing yourself. They are professionals, but they're working with a political mind. They're working with a mind that we want to defend the CDC government. And in that quest to defend, our people say God is not sleeping. God knows that we're sincere, so God could not expose them.
Okay, so the calculation we're just doing, for those of you listening that want to verify, please go on the page of the CSA Director Josiah Joker. 3 days ago, he posted the workforce status and structural composition covering the 107 government spending entities. And then he shared a graph or a table. In that table, he has sectors and number of employees. And on that table as well, when you do the number of employees calculation, you get the total that's way more than his own total he put there. So for those of us that do not pay attention to detail, when you see the 63,130, so he wanted to squeeze this to agree with what the president said. But then if you take your time and calculate, go on Josiah Joker page. For those of you who doubt that, oh, when people say, oh, the president lied in the SONA and this, that, blah, these are the people who fed the president's SONA with these misinformations, right? They are the people, Josiah Joker, and he called himself doctor. These are the people who fed the president's SONA with this misinformation. So go on your own page, then you will know for yourself whether these people are truthful in power or they're actually lying. Every day, Abu, Benedict, other people.
When I post, they say I lie, but I don't want you to go to that. The report itself, it has to take time to look at, but I can look at the report in 5 minutes.
Okay.
So when I show you something there, you say, oh, but the one he himself posted is a lie. Even if you go to his report on page 9 or page 10 about that calculation, again, it's a lie, because when you put 3,406 on 60,900, it will still not be 63,130. Besides that, in 2024, he reported that there was $10 million loose money still on the payroll that in 2025 he was going to remove it from there. There is nowhere mentioned in his report that he took that money from there.
So something you reported in 2024.
I'm not even taking the 2024 report to actually match it with 2025, but I just pick up key things. So what I'm trying to say is that these are the kind of messages they send to the Liberian people, that we from CDC, we they have heads on our shoulders, we didn't know how to run the country. We get intended to destroy the country. Now they've taken over this country. They have no clue of how to run this country. The foundation that we lay, they're now destroying it because they have to support the lies that told the Liberian people. Our biggest job, is what we have started. Our biggest job is to create a situation, a truthful situation, that anytime the Union Party people speak to the public, somebody will say, well, look on top of their head, he say, you sure? Because they're not true. There's nowhere the CSA will speak on any issue, people will not call me to ask me.
Oh, yeah, it seems like every time they speak, they're lying about things.
They're lying about things, right? And we'll go to other issues.
So let's come to job. They said they've created 70,000 short, medium-term job. Does the number support that?
I don't know where the job comes from, but here is what I can see. I don't judge the job creation on the basis of what they see. What they're reporting now.
But there have to be places to verify.
Forget it. You can get and say, okay, what Billy Road will employ people there? Huh? What digging cassava, somebody came to help us to dig the cassava that job there. Huh? More Ali said that. Okay, we create a condition, plenty put shiny shoes now, shoes and boy that job. In their definition, that job. But here is it.
But is that the actual economic definition of what job is?
No, I just coming to the point. When the definition of job is formed within the campaign messages of the Union Party,
Okay.
our Liberian people, current generation of our generation, are aware of the 1950s and the 1960s. When we have companies, Lamco, Lemenco, all those companies that were in this country and the population were around 1.2, 1.9 million people, they absorbed almost all the workforce in Lamco, Yekepa and other places. Those people were doing their jobs. Secure job, family enjoying, electricity there, they got TV, they got German radio station, television
And the
station.
income tax bracket could account for those number of jobs because the
Then
number of people
the working, a lot of NGO flow down in this country, hundreds of NGO people have different jobs. So the Union Party made the Liberian people to believe that here's someone President George Manneh, where they didn't have the capacity to attract investors. So the reason no job in this country, the companies are running away from the CDC. The NGO had left. They told the population that when we take over, we'll make sure all the NGOs come back. We were telling the Liberian people, anytime you see NGOs in your country, it means there is war, there is emergency. Anybody who said they will bring NGO, it means they want to bring war in the country. But they didn't listen. So on the basis of that, when we're talking about job creation, the Union Party should be saying, or the president should have been saying, look, we brought in 25 new companies because that's why you told the Liberian people. And let the Liberian people see themselves living in the company camps with free coring, with a free apartment like it was in Boma, like it was in Lamco, like it was in Birmingham Hills.
with health insurance.
Will have insurance. Or let us see new NGOs, Peace Win Japan, for example. I don't know what the NGO, Peace Win Japan was here, CRS was here, CRS is here, ICRC, for example. Look, those are the NGOs that need to come back in our country before we agree with the Union Party that they have created a job, because this is what they
On
said.
the basis of that campaign.
And the basis of that campaign message. They didn't say, you know what? Somebody digging a casa and he asked a friend to go dig it with him and get him a piece of casa. He said that job. That is not a job.
Somebody said I was speaking to the Liberian people.
Yes. You can't tell me that I went to build my little Congo. Abu, you went to build a little Congo and you got one guy to go and
Did it hustle?
did a hustle guy, and he had the people to miss the motor, and you did that way for 1 month, you were there 1 month, you finish, the man finish, you go by away. Those are the jobs that Union Party talking about. So
But
again,
these sort of
ask the
jobs
Liberian
have
people.
been here.
I've been here. That's why I wanted to lay the foundation. Short-term job will always be here because people are looking for people to do small things. This is not what the Liberian people left their darling boy, their son that you malign so much, rejected him for you, and you come back and tell them that the NGOs are not coming again, that the Sushan boy job is available. You're telling them the companies are not coming again, or you have to go to Wheeler Market to red line. Once you're selling Wheeler Market, you got 10,000 goods in the Wheeler, you are employed. This is not what we sign up for as a country. In fact, when these kind of messages go out to the international community, people begin to laugh at us and say, what kind of country is this? Why should we tell the public?
Let me hold you 1 minute. Just replay what Mo Ali said about this job thing so that the Liberian people hear for themselves. This is what he said.
Those who own keke, they are riding. They are again for the employed. The people who sit on the street to shine shoe, they are employed. The people who go to Loga, like all of those who ride motorbikes, they are again for the employed. But when you ask them, are you employed? They tell you no. But like all of those who ride motorbikes, they are again for the employed. But when you ask them, are you employed? They tell you no. Those who own keke, they are riding. They are again for the employed. The people who sit on the street to shine shoe, they are employed. The people who go to Loga.
This was how the director at the Water and Sewer defined the 70,000 jobs that they have created in the country. Saying keke riders, tuition boys, wheelbarrow pushers, they are gainfully employed.
So when you open the line, I hope we'll have more time. Ask the citizen, is that the job they expected? Is that the job they were working in the water for? Is that the job they really rejected their darling boy, their George Weah, their money, the man who stood for them in difficult days. When guns were shooting all around this place, he was from one refugee camp to another. Is that what they really rejected President Weah for?
Like all of those who
So we come to his name is Benedict Oliver, and of course we cross-checking on some of the claims. He's one man that's been in the space trying to ensure that governance is pillared on truth-telling, and of course the accuracy of these public conversations remain the order of the day. So let's talk about the Minister of Finance. I hope I can get a clip here where Augustine Gaffron said that they have reversed harmonization. And you have been making some posts disagreeing, all of that. We want you to bring that. Why do you disagree with the minister's accession, especially when they have made it to seem it's about increasing the pay of people who work in government? Why should that be a problem for you?
So, Abu, one of the things I want you to do, and I want your listeners to do for this station, right?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't say it, but let me say it because I will always be here. I want you to open a time for fundraising. Let the audience raise funds for one laptop.
Okay.
That one laptop, you have your email on it. Every time I come here, I will bring all the documents because when I talk, I want you to go to the page. You will not do it on your phone at the same time. So if you're listening to my voice, you're interested in what we're doing, you'll do that for the station. Because
a special dedicated
computer. Because when somebody comes here, they say something, you say, what play here? Because I like to speak with facts. So I will go to the history. Somewhere around about in 2024, in 2014, there was a program, what we call the MTEF, we call it the multi-year financial framework. There was a strategy developed by CSA. Oh, let me go back as far as 2005. When Madam Salleh won the elections, or after the war, our whole system was broken.
Mm-hmm.
So people who came back to work, they said, oh, government worker, they can brought everybody, and they tried to refund the entire civil service.
Okay.
Madam Salleh said, you know what, the whole system is broken. We need to attract, we need to bring people from America everywhere who are professionals, but before they come, we got to pay them better money. We can't pay them the same like $12. So they started bringing those people. They had the CSE program, CS executive program, they had GMAP. So if you realize from that foundation, there was a two-pay system in the country. There were some people, poor teachers. I gave you the history system, yes. There were two payroll systems. Some people were making like $12, just on like $12 pay. Those that came from America and other places, their friends, they were making US dollar to call it allowance. Then the ministers were making what we call special allowance. That process continued gradually. Three payroll system. Now, as a result of that, government was collecting money and paying people. They were not putting government money in doing development. Because the NGOs were here doing development, the UN was here doing development, OMEL was here, and OMEL was doing the security work, everything. So the government was collecting the money, eating the paying salaries. Around about 2024, before 2014, there was now a discussion and said, you know what, let's refund the civil service. We can't be having the kind of payroll system. 2014, there was a strategy developed. There was some work done before then, but I'll talk about 2014. George, they call it George Warner was there. That process started. When that process started, they decided that they were going to pilot with few ministries and agencies, Ministry of Education and blah, blah, blah. But it didn't work until Madam Salleh decided to merge the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs. And I know that happened around 2012 or 2014. When that process was going on now, they also decided to do what we call a National Development Plan. We call it AFT. There was one thing that led to the trouble we are in today.
The agenda for transformation.
Yes. So they developed a proposition. They made a claim that, you know what? We want to make Liberia a middle income country. The same thing they had done today. And they said, look, to make Liberia a middle income country, each Liberian should be able to get the control work. They should have $1,030. So to do that, the people who are working in the public service, we should pay people not less than 900 or 1,000 per month. When we do that, we'll make the country a middle income country.
To justify increasing their salaries.
Yes.
So, okay, we want to get a middle income.
Yes. On the basis of that, Finance Ministry became the first, since they were merging Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. They said, you know what? Let us now start that middle income proposition in the salary with Ministry of Finance and Development
Who was
Planning.
finance minister then?
But then Gafon had left and didn't want to do that merger. He didn't do that.
I think it was Amara.
Minister Amara Kone.
Okay.
But Gafon started in the ways of that. So the least entry job, a PSC job at the Finance Ministry, was quoted and graded to make around $900 or $950.
Okay.
And a director was quoted to make $3,250.
Wow.
While Finance Ministry was doing that, CSA said, no, we can't be doing a refund that you did. So CSA came in with that same pay grade. Gender Ministry was close to the president.
Who was at CSA? We'd like to know the names. You know.
In
Was
20,
it George Warner?
no, George Warner had left. I was a lady there. George Warner left 2014. Roundabout, this was happening 2015. Yeah, I think George Warner was there. Somewhere roundabout. I need to find out who was exactly there. Then Gender Ministry came in and said, you know what? You know, Gender Ministry was a darling to the president.
Correct.
Women issue. They brought Gender Ministry on that kind of payroll
You guys
system.
talking cartel and other people were there.
NIC said, no, but we don't want bringing in all the money. So they brought in 5 NIC, Minister of Finance, Minister of Gender, CSA. I know it will have been Minister of Foreign Affairs.
To pilot.
They put those entities in our pay grade. The least analyst level, 950, director level, 3,250. By the time they did those 5 entities and saw how the wage grade was looking, they couldn't make it because they had 107 entities. So they had to stop.
They couldn't carry that across to
The government could not have money for it. So on the basis of that, they said, well, we can't continue. But a program had now been created. They could now revise the salaries for
those
government entities, and they could not carry on across. So as a result, you now have some government entities that were making only Liberian dollars, and they were living on allowance. There were a few government entities that were being paid only Liberian US dollar, but huge pay.
Okay.
So that became a serious problem in the civil service. It was also increasing the government recurring expenditure. It could not make the government to do projects to get collecting money into the pay people. At the same time, besides the salaries, people were getting gas slip as their allowance. They were getting different things.
So that means if you're a director at Ministry of Finance, you'll be making 3,000.
These are somebody to Ministry of Education, director, they could not even make $550.
That's
So-
how the pay system
So
works.
they destroyed this country payroll system. With such a payroll system, when the NGOs left, then in 2017, the USAID decided to assess the payroll system. They assessed again, they told the government, this was wrong, you can't continue because the NGOs are pulling up. If you get collecting money, it will not help the country. By that time now, in 2017, the government had almost 70,000 workers. 36,000 of those were graded with the pool with CSA. That time CSA was somewhere behind here. They used to do biometric right behind here. So it is because of that dual and dangerous payroll system that could not allow government to save money and work. It almost like in a layman way, your husband's salary or your family's salary, the salary is coming. The man is get taking the salary, you go do party with it or go on the beach, and this and that. Your uncle can say, you know what, they will not help you and your children. That's how my brother was looking. The payroll was pick and choose. There was money, they call general allowance in the pocket of ministers because when you put it in the budget, there is a minister that decides who to get what out of that payroll system. I'm explaining this because when somebody said they will reverse harmonization, they have in fact saying unknowingly to themselves that they want to carry the payroll system to that system
Back to that system.
where ministers were having $1 million in their budget, they can decide how much to give somebody.
Okay.
Where some Liberians were only making Liberian dollars, they were never making US dollars. So when we took over now, All the NGOs had left, no space to do project. We started to find out the World Bank said, you know what? For you to be a stable and a good country, you have to do your wage harmonization. So in effect, you can create space to do projects.
Because you made a payroll system that was almost unsustainable.
Unregulated.
And then the NGOs have left that were coming with extra money to help in other areas.
They have left the country. So now,
so you need to take a decision.
The decision. 9 years that the NGO had left, but there wasn't equity. There were some Liberians that had never seen US in their salary until CDC took over.
Oh, really?
You open a line. In education, there were some people that were only living on basic salary, no US.
So the whole idea of liberty in US, generally across government,
that's CDC. And I will come to the benefits. So on the basis of that, 2 things happen. The 5 or 6 government entities that were making only US dollars, there were no standard of that US dollars. The minister or the health agent could decide how much to pay a particular staff, even though they were just making US dollars. The other entity, there was no system as well. So now this is how harmonization works. In the harmonization process, and I will give you reference. The reason I said that was when you go to, I take an example this morning on my page.
Okay.
If you take Ministry of Health payroll for 2017, because that was the last time, on harmonization, right? If you take Ministry of Health payroll in 2017, you will see on our payroll, you will see what we call the compensation divided into 2 things. One is basic salary, one is allowances. If you take Ministry of Health payroll in 2023, you will only see compensation, basic salary.
Okay.
So what we did now in harmonization was to say no. Everybody equal. Everybody deserves to get both US and LD. So we brought all the pay that were divided into 2. We brought it to 1.
No goat and sheep.
No goat and sheep. No pick and choose. No money for minister to decide how they will pay somebody. No. So we put everything together. That's what we call harmonization. So all the ministries that were having 2 pay systems, and one of the pay systems is at the pleasure of the minister, we cancel it. We say we'll bring all together, and then we'll give you 1 pay.
So that means harmonization was not about cutting people's salary.
No, harmonization was not about cutting people's salary. Harmonization was about bringing the dangerous discretionary pay system, pick and choose pay system, into a system where nobody can decide your pay. Only your position can decide your pay. So today when we hire you and say you are a director, I don't put your name in the payroll system and say Abu director, your salary will automatically come up. Nobody can decide how much to pay you.
So to reverse that one, you got to go back to where somebody got to choose how much.
Somebody got to choose how much to pay you. When you hear us saying it's irreversible, is that when you go back to that, it's dangerous for our country, and you don't want danger. I told some of the people, so I said, look, that thing they put talking, the day they reverse harmonization, this country, the civil servant will dethrone the government that same day. Because go to, people will not call because they in government, because they fear. Go to LDA. LDA staff were not even making $75 per month. We get in life.
It means the CDC king.
Yes. Those people who were supplementary payroll teachers who are making $5,000, you're telling those people that you will kill them up to $5,000 in effect.
You will go back. Because it was after harmonization that they started paying more than that.
Yes.
So
besides that, those that were not even making US in their life, you're telling them you will not carry them back, they will only make like $100. So if you don't know the implication and you follow the post, we're reversing harmonization, don't follow them. It's dangerous for our country. Because this is how I'm spending more time on the way the payroll was for people to understand that when we say harmonization is irreversible, we're telling you that the payroll system United Party had, it was dangerous and they don't want to admit. And let me tell you one of the things that happened.
Go ahead.
Mr. Gafan was the first budget director. We had a budget bureau. They orchestrated this payroll system. He left from there, he became finance minister. They orchestrated all the system. So he knows that they created the nearer and poor payroll system, that pick and choose salary system. Minister Troy came and make the payroll system different and unique. They don't want to accept it. They are using it, and I will come to that. They are using the framework harmonization established, and it is good for the country. But they don't want to admit because they have previously told the Liberian people it was bad. So inside they go use the system, outside they come, they say we'll reverse it. It is not possible.
Okay, I come in 1 minute. Let me just play what Gaffron meant when he said he reverse harmonization.
Almost 6,000 health workers benefited from pay increases. In total, in aggregate, almost 30,000 persons but too much of people's pay because some do not volunteer all the fights for that obvious personal reasons. They might not have, I mean, you know why it means when people think that you are getting increases, but because you pushing me and we push to say some things. We have reversed that word used. I don't like to use it because they go harmonize. We have reversed harmonization in the United States. This year, this budget, 2026, harmonization is being reversed at the EAC. This year, this budget.
But talking clearly because it's been a continuation.
We are moving gradually, we're moving gently.
Reversal.
Yes. We are moving. It's ends of the people and moving gradually.
Okay.
Last year, as I said, 30,000 persons across the government, some form of pay increases. They included police, they included army force.
Let me hold it right there. So that was Gaffron when he appeared, sounding that they have reverse harmonization, and it's happening gingerly, and that squarely defining harmonization to me, increasing salaries to these select agency of government or institutions of government or that. So then my question would be to you, when harmonization was enforced, did it mean a moratorium on increment in salary across government? CDC period was no salary increase.
So anytime anytime you hear that pay has been increased, right?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Anytime pay is increased across government within the pay grade system, you should be jubilating for harmonization. It is an enforcement, it is an implementation and extension of the harmonization policy. When we did harmonization, we did two things. We brought the two pay system together as one, and those entities that already have only one pay system, like the GAC, the Ministry of Finance, the NIC, the LACC, because those people, they were formed after the war. Most those entities were formed after the war, right? So they only have one allowance system. But that allowance system was not within a pay grade system to say, okay, the director is at a grade level, we pay the grade level like this. So it was not within a pay grade system. So in harmonization now, we standardize, say, okay, then we have brought all the pay together. Let's have a standard way of paying people in this country. People should not be paid based on whether the minister like you or he doesn't like you. That's the second portion we did because standardization. That's how we passed the law on standardization. The legislature said, well, it's good when you are bringing everybody pay together, but when you are forming a new pay, make it standard. So when we did the standardization now, we realized two things. There were some people in those 5 or 6 entities that were above their pay grade that have been established. And so those that were above that pay grade, they were adjusted downward. That was called standardization. The other people who they standardized,
So payroll became greater.
payroll became
And
greater.
that when Gaffron was budget director, they just had it anyhow.
They got hired anyhow. So now those who were above their pay grade, we brought them down to their pay grade. Those who were not to their pay grade, we moved some of them up, but all were now moved to their pay grade, to their new pay grade. So, for example, if a director is supposed to make 1,700, and the director and minister of health is making 500, probably would talk him to 900 or 1,000 and say, look, even though you're supposed to be from 1,700, but the economy has not reached to the point that all the directors can reach there. So you will be to this 1,000 as the economic growth will be adding up, That's why we even take a special framework classification will to help workers how to pay a different category of health workers as the economic growth will be adding their money, So anytime you hear Mr. Gaffar and somebody saying we are increasing pay, it means that they are enforcing harmonization, but they don't want to see it. Because they are increasing that pay based on the pay grade that was set. If somebody should have been making 1,000, but the economy could only afford for them to be making 750, and this year you got more money, you add $50 or $100 to their pay, you are actually enforcing harmonization. But they don't want to see it. So harmonization in effect is what Gaffar is enforcing. That's one part.
Okay.
Reversal is out of the question. I have explained that over and over. Now, the reason Minister Tuah said GSC and LSC were not harmonized is that those entities didn't have two payroll systems where somebody making allowance in LD, another person making allowance in US, another person making basic salary in LD. Those people have only one payroll system in US, but their pay system was not graded. It was not standard to say this is how we should pay people. It was by the discretion and choice of the head of entity by them or the executive that is sending the people there. So we need to understand between the two, those that were standardized only and those that were harmonized and standardized. So when Tuah said GSC was not standard harmonized, he was correct. Because GSC didn't have two pay systems.
But that doesn't mean it was not standardized.
No, that doesn't mean it was not standardized.
Okay, so some former officials of the GSC say, oh,
they didn't understand it.
They were out of standardization.
Yes, because people were outside of their pay grade. And if today you are putting people within their pay grade, you are enforcing harmonization. But if you are giving salary to people because they are your friends, and you're increasing their pay above their pay grade, then you're destroying the whole of the standardization in the legislature.
And that's the last point I want to something that we'll go to the phone lines and hear from our people out there on this giving money to people because they're your friend or because they're from the Unity Party. There are a lot of complaints from the Ministry of Finance that people have been brought there, and some of them have been paid discretionarily, right? The salaries are beyond the pay grade for even a proper director and of course a proper assistant minister.
So I hope after this show today, my colleague Daniel Yakona, Hassan Hussein, those guys are insulting me, some of the boys, they will stop because they should have understood properly. If you go to the finance ministry,
they may not stop because there are eating that
if you went to the finance ministry today, I guess look at the finance ministry payroll. Minister Tuah inherited 2017 payroll around $8.8 million for finance ministry.
Okay.
And the budget year was between 2 years that time. So portion of it was CDC, portion of it was 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
In the 2018-2019, we were actually Minister Tuah first budget and working on things. The payroll went up to 10.7. When he introduced the standardization and harmonization of finance ministry, the payroll dropped around 8.3. And then adjustment and fighting to keep it stable, he ended the payroll of finance ministry at $9.4 million.
In his last year.
So give and take, he increased finance ministry payroll by just $0.6 million, $700,000.
So as of when Tuah was leaving, the payroll ministry payroll grew just by $600,000.
$600,000.
From what he inherited.
From what he inherited.
Okay.
Today,
2 years later.
Today, in 2024, 2023, they inherited a payroll of $9.6 million. In 2024, the average payroll, finance ministry, went up to $10.2 million. The next year, it went up to 11.7 or something like that. Today, finance ministry payroll is around 13 million. I don't get that number. It should be around $12 million. Next year, they are projecting will be $30 million.
Why are they?
The following year, it will go to $40 million. So with that, I get projected about 2029 will go to $50 million.
So what is informing the increment?
I don't know. And here's my disappointment. The break that they are reversing harmonization, when the place you set in your own home, you have not added 1 cent to any director pay. In fact, the technical focus persons, all the consultants that Mr. Gaffon has hired in the Ministry of Finance, their pay is more than the functional director, the civil service director. Their pay is more than the politically endorsed and appointed assistant minister.
Really? You mean the likes of Hassan Fadiga?
They make more than the assistant minister doesn't make equal or in take home don't make more than 2,200. Assistant minister. But those guys are making and not subjected to taxes. Some are making $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. Every appointed official at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning has an equivalent ministerial appointment called technical focus person that makes salary more than that particular minister. So you have technical focus person in all the minister's office. So the wage bill, someone I hear they got more money than they get. Maybe the only person that are making more money than anybody, probably maybe in the minister office. I need to cross check that. But assistant minister, all the technical focus, all the people make money more than assistant minister. So when the guy says that,
then the people might not be excited. They may not be happy about it.
No, people are not happy in the finance ministry. They're not.
But their minister is bragging that he's increasing salary.
That's the irony. So I saw Fatiga, they will speak and get talk. I said, look, let's make the debate professional. Give me references. And I posted, they challenged me to post 12, or salary. At their comparison between 12 and Gaffon, you see Gaffon payroll is flattening, going out precedentally. You see 12 struggling and fighting with payroll from 8.189, and he's fighting to balance the payroll at Ministry of Finance until he landed it at 9.4 because he wanted to make sure that the government functions properly. So at the Ministry of Finance right now, I can say to you the payroll is just going up. The consultants are just being hired, and those are the people who are telling us we bloated the payroll. So if we bloated the payroll, okay, let's say we call people pay our finance administration, we standardize those pay for the good of the nation. Nobody was for the government to function, to have a stable, and we have plans to keep increasing it. How be it? CSA that is breaking, the directors still make more than any director in the government. So CSA is supposed to be saying, no, it is unfair, it is unjust. Director at CSA cannot be making 1,070 or 2,250. Director of Ministry of Education, Director of Ministry of Health cannot even make $1,000. So it's really serious. It's unfair. So CSA people should be saying, you know what? We can't do this. So what they should be doing is, if Minister Gaffon is actually saying that he reverses standardization in those entities, start with Ministry of Finance. How Ministry of Finance payroll will be increasing when the civil servants' payrolls are not being increased, are not being tapped up. There's no new work at the Ministry of Finance. All the people they're hiring, they got people there to do those jobs. For example, the donors have put down. USA,
all the consultants actually have no job.
No, they got no job.
The people there.
Absolutely, they got no job. I can tell you that because listen.
We gotta go to the phone lines.
By the time we have, let me give you one example. In the assistant minister for development planning office, I left 3 or 4 staff in that office.
Okay.
You got senior economist, senior staff, and that. You have directors. You got more than 4 directors in the division of planning. You bring
additional.
No, functional directors and units responsible for. They got unit responsible for project development, unit responsible for coordinating the national development plan, unit responsible for the counties, unit responsible for M&E. Now, you leave those people, you bring another technical focus person in the minister's office. So why is he actually going to be doing that? He's functioning like another assistant minister, but that was not appointed by the president. He makes salary more than the person who was appointed by the president. Are you kidding me? So it means Gaffon is more powerful even than the president.
Wow, let's go to the phone lines. His name is Benedict Columbine. Of course, he's been our guest here on the Freedom Money Rise. 0776 104 0886 500 104 plus 231 886 500 104 are the numbers to call. Somebody say, But the guys are doing it, damaging the country. But let's see. Yeah. What? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Johnson calling on to go for the Continental Plan for Justice.
Go ahead, make your point.
In the country, when CDC was in the country, the people after the 8 to say CDC don't know how they were doing. But yet they say the thing that CDC did, the government can still leave in the money and the after 8 to say there's nothing for the country. You are saying to someone now to pay for everybody to make equal pay for equal work. Nobody taking pay as description.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
My name is Secretary and I'm calling from Ghana.
Go ahead.
You know, the Democratic Party because the United Party had a harmonization was not good for the country. And they said that, no, we are supposed to put the harmonization, people wanting to do it also. Besides the thing of power, they came with harmonization. We just saying they're struggling, when it, I don't really know. Well, I can tell Mr. President, thank you for the time and thank you for, propagating and the people said it was out of power and it was out of government and it was not for teaching that in the government.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's take David King. Go ahead. You're live.
Yeah, good morning. I will say good morning to Mr. Kolba. Mr. Kolba, let me commend you for your exposé, the brilliant exposé this morning. And this is why we have always said the rescuer. This guy only came to rescue himself, but not like people. Whenever they say to people like us that the CDC destroyed the country, and I'm saying, what did the CDC do different that you did not do in the last 12 years that CDC and destroyed the country and you are coming to people the broken people? They got nothing to put to better. But these are men that can. So just go about lying to people concerning about everything that is happening to us in this country. We know very well that economic policy, honestly, was very brilliant, and this is why they did not have any hiccup. Also, today, there is no hiccup from the economic of the country, and we see that point we will not lie. We got 18 hours.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm showing his parting. I will ask Benedict about that ETR economy stuff. Let's say you're using this is not a regular defense and so we're talking a real stuff. Are you willing to contribute to that?
So when you have professional real account is not being compacted.
But that's what I'm telling you. This is not a regular defense. Yeah. So okay, go ahead.
Wait a minute.
Make your point now.
Good morning to you, big brother.
Good morning.
The last time I listened to you on KFM, I said I'm admiring you. So reading out the numbers, in fact, on the issues. Unless all guys in the very lazy. Let me appreciate you for being, one of those intellectuals around.
Do you agree with him?
And let me ask you a quick question quickly. As an economist who believes in development, have you identified any development under this administration reaching for electricity, road connectivity, and the job of practice in the different commodities? Have you identified any of those?
Okay, let me ask you too, as a supporter of the government, I'm the moderator here now. Have you identified any development in your community?
Of course, our road have been captured. One of the proper ways will be peace.
What are you lying on Peace Island, man? What are you lying at that? People walking with their barefoot, taking all their shoes, then you say your road is we can laugh for good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, okay. Let me thank you for the program information for our astute minister.
No, he's former assistant minister.
Yeah, former. Yeah. For me, I believe that the harmonization is a policy. So if you want to consider policy, they should not be very good to increase certain ministry minister salary and leave the whole entire aspect of harmonization.
Okay, so I mean you agree with Benedict. Hello, good morning. Okay, let me take from on this line. Good morning.
Yes.
Morning.
Yes. This is my brother calling from the ballroom. Yeah, I want you to give me, you want to talk fast on video like that. So I beg you, you should allot more time, I beg you, so that for talk. But the only thing I get to tell him here, I've met this man. He's a good man, good economist, or whatsoever, professional man. He should not teach these people that the only thing, when they call him behind the screen and say, oh, thank you, come and do this, taking it one, give for information. Don't let I say no, please. So please, you should not educate people.
No, but it's about the country now. How country go down? When they postpone the country, we gotta help to fix it now. That's what he's trying to do. But thank you. Let me take 3 more calls and I go back to Ben and go over to good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I was going to say good morning to Oliver. He is referred to as the Oracle, and he is the Oracle. This is Edmund Carr, your party, and the teacher in there that pushing for the return person we are going to the night. You know, he said something. The Uniparty guy actually lacks the ability to push the real issue. Because the guys always throw the challenge to them that when you are coming up with the issue, look at your based on the data. But you cannot always come with falsehood. You know, this foreign minister that we have, he's a complete foreign minister because he always comes and just talk loosely. And what I said, I didn't even know until when I read a letter from Minister Twe talking about our organization being law. That before even you talk about field ministry and agency repressing the organization, and it's law you have to go to the legislature before you undo harmonization. Another question we ask for is the same data. Okay, you talk about the few institutions that you talk about. How much were they making? And how much were you able to carry? Because if you repressing money, how are you making 10,000 US and you come out to 15,000 to 20,000? But you take time to tell the people say, we are able to repress organization, to GSC, to LACC, to the district. How much was the So these are the questions we are asking. You don't find people to need to answer.
Thank you very much. Let me go to the diaspora and pick this call. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Abu. Good morning, Mr. Benedict. This is Mr. Jar.
Good morning.
I just wanted to say this. Yeah, I just wanted to say this. It's sad that the reason why you have to justify all these things is because right now in governance we lack integrity. Okay. So the guys do not have no problem lying, and because they have their followers that if you just lie, and give me money, I will come and defend you. That's the reason we're going to suffer this for the next 2 years. To be honest with you, so you guys will have to strain yourself to come and justify or let them know what they're doing wrong because they have no problem. They have no problem. They have no fear in lying to the people. So all they do is just come and say, oh, hey, guys, hey, we're going to put this on cycle hospital. We did this. We did that. And the integrity has been lacking in this government that have no fear. So I'm sorry for you, Mr. Benedict. You have to come and be doing this. You have to be coming up and educating the people because it's a sad thing that the country has lacking completely. Well, not even small, from president to the least person in his executive have no fear in line to the people.
Thank you very much. I have to hold you there. Benedict, those were the calls. Time is up. We have to go. But your platform, and
I want to answer something very specific. One of the guys, I think the rescue guy, right? He asked me, whether have I not seen any development in electricity and this and that? I tried to find a scripture in which Jesus sent his disciples out, and those disciples came back. They were jubilating. Jesus, we went out, we're casting out demons for people. Jesus told them, he said, you know why? Don't be happy because you are casting out demons. Be happy for your name. Call them in the book of life in heaven. Let me close on the early. I have seen current, but don't be happy with the current we see. Be happy when Liberia has its own source of current. The current we're using, almost 30-40% not coming from And let me get you
One
one of the most worrisome things that will happen. When the Union Party took over, according to President Boakai, Liberia was only outrecourse around $10 million for electricity. According to the LEC, by that time, the CDC government paid almost $60 million to get electricity here, and we're only $10 million. Today, the LEC is reporting from 2024 first quarter. LEC is reporting today, as of September, that the LEC owes outrecourse around $36 million. What that means?
26 million.
Yes. What that means, the rescue government had consumed $26 million worth of electricity without paying.
So they didn't clear it there.
No. So there is darkness in here of Liberia on the electricity crisis. If Africa decides today and say, you know what, the money too much, you got to pay us before we come in, it's a disaster. We don't have our own space. That's why we didn't go there. That is why when the budget was being prepared, I was here again. Aslam Meta gave us $200 million. I cried to the vice president. I said, you from Nima, don't sit down there, this thing happen. I cried on the finance minister. I cried on the president. This $200 million, let's put the $200 million on one side. We go to one of the rivers in John River to build one hydro. $150 million can build a hydro of 200 megawatts.
They just solve
You can solve the electricity issue. They say we don't know, they can't listen to us. But today, we are waiting, we're fighting to get $200 million from MCC to solve our electricity problem. We'll take 2 years to do that project, to develop the project, and then it goes to pool. We'll take 5 years to implement that project before it. So for the MCC current to come to Liberia, we have to be the next 7 years. When we only have 2 years, have you put that $200 million on St. John River? By this year, next year, you will solve your electricity problem. These are the people who said they know book more than us. So, my brother, I have seen something, but don't be happy with that. Like Jesus told his disciples, is that going to solve our problem? The $50 million we're going to get to LEC, any money you get to LEC, they take that money and go Aricos and buy electricity. They're enriching the poor in Aricos. There is what we call evaporation of the resources of the
Somebody say, I believe, a civil servant say, why the government increased the budget to 1.2 billion and didn't see an increment for civil servants?
Because it's not possible. If the 1.2 billion budget is a fake budget, you know, when we talk about
you
this,
keep saying it's a fake budget.
Yes.
The minister said that people will be here again, will raise the money, and they will be here.
Okay, Aslam Meta will get $200 million. So let's say if Aslam Meta renewal of their concession had not come, you are going to get that $200 million? No. If CDC government had ratified that you are going to get that $200 million? No. So that $200 million is not part of your book. And you really sound economists and budget specialists, you will put that $200 million one side. That will have been a supplementary budget to carry the legislature.
It will have come anyway.
It will come anyway. You say you know the money yet, special money. And not as a result of our effort. We didn't do new thing with Aslam Meta. Aslam Meta wants to do business. And their concession agreement is ending. They got to renew it. So that one is not watching thing. But the reason they did that is the real money the government will collect, which is the $930 million, they've already taken all that money and divide it for offices for operational costs. So the money that's supposed to go for development, they tie it to Aslam Meta. So you have to put that Aslam Meta in the budget to justify that, which was a very bad decision for our country. Imagine you have $1.2 billion budget, but you still went the next day to take $7 million to build hydro in Nima. Nima that producing $200 million. So, Mr. Mayor, who you say are seeing development, I have not seen development. The way you see it, and I see it. I see it from the well-being and the sustainability perspective. Everything they are doing will not address the well-being of the people. As a result, they keep lying, they keep lying, they keep lying. And I will close to tell the president, you need to send a special committee to validate anything that comes from the CSA, because every report that comes from the CSA, whether they want to send to the IMF, whether they want to put in 2024 report, whether they want to put in 2025 report, whether they want to get you in the SONA, they are all messy. You can't trust that it doesn't represent our country. And your people need to understand that harmonization can never be reversed. They can do what we call increase of pay, they should get that credit to Simon Twell and the CDC government that yes, you standardize pay in this country on the basis of the standardized framework you said we are increasing people pay gradually on the basis of the intent and spirit of harmonization. Harmonization is irreversible.
Okay. His name is Benedict Koluba, and he ended on the fact that harmonization, they have insisted based on the technical meaning of what it is, and the reform that happened, that harmonization is irreversible. Anybody who dares trying to reverse harmonization in its actual sense means you're going to create a situation where civil servants, public service workers will topple the government. That's the words of Benedict Koluba. And they are the technicians, and they understand these economic issues and their interpretation. And that's why we brought him here to speak to the mass base of our people. You know, Freedom Money Rise is the biggest listened to breakfast platform by our people across the country. And that's what we always try to bring you all of the best. On Thursday, because tomorrow is a holiday, we will be off. For Thursday, the man from district number 11, a lot of you said you enjoy him. Jim Gabriel Yinka will be our guest on Thursday. You don't want to miss it. Until we see you, do have yourself a wonderful time from the nation's capital. Monrovia. Bye-bye.
Beauty.